गुरु ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। ओम गणनां त्वा गणपतिगं मवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवस्त्रवस्त्रमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणान् ब्रह्मणस्पत आनुशृण्वोतिभिस्सीदसादनम्। ओम महागणाधिपतये नमः। ओम केशवाय नमः, ओम नारायणाय नमः, ओम माधवाय नमः, ओम गोविंदाय नमः, ओम विष्णुवे नमः, मत्सूदनाय नमः, त्रिविक्रमाय नमः, वामनाय नमः, श्रीधराय नमः, ऋषिकेशाय नमः, पद्मनाभाय नमः, दामोदराय नमः, संकर्षणाय नमः, वासुदेवाय नमः, प्रद्युम्नाय नमः, अनिरुद्धाय नमः, पुरुषोत्तमाय नमः, दक्षिणाय नमः, नारसिंहाय नमः, अच्युताय नमः, जनार्दनाय नमः, उपेन्द्राय नमः, हरे नमः। श्रीकृष्णाय नमः, श्रीकृष्णाय नमः, श्रीकृष्णाय नमः। शंभवे नमः, विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्रयंबकाय त्रिपुरांतकाय त्रिकाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकंठाय मृत्युंजयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। हरि ओम। We will continue the Shiva Purana. In this chapter, we are listening to the situation when Shiva and Parvati agreed to marry each other, and Himalaya sends Lagnapatrika, that is Parvataraja, sends Lagnapatrika to all the guests to come to the marriage, and Lord Shiva invites all the Devas. Lord Shiva invited all Devas, Ganas, to the marriage ceremony. He also requested sage Narada to intimate all the Devas, sages, and celestial entities. After getting the invitation from Shiva, everybody started making preparations to be part of Shiva's marriage procession. The seven mothers, Brahmi, Maheshwari, Kaumari, Vaishnavi, Varahi, Aindri, and Chamunda dressed him up beautifully. Shiva then performed all the necessary karmas to pacify the planet. At last, this wonderful marriage procession of Shiva proceeded towards the Parvata, Himalaya, in his in-laws' house. Lord Shiva's marriage procession. Shiva proceeded with his marriage procession, which consisted of crores of his ganas and deities like Vishnu, who were boarded on their vehicles. Even Narada and Lord Brahma were present in his marriage procession. First of all, Shiva and Narada Himalaya's house to inform. First of all, Shiva sent Narada to Himalayas, that is Parvataraja's house, to inform him about their marriage procession arrival. Parvataraja sent his son Mainaka to receive them. Shiva, divine place. When Maina saw that the marriage procession was coming, she curiously told Narada about her desire to see her son-in-law. That is, Parvataraja's wife is Maina Devi. Shiva understood the arrogance which her desire contained. He wanted to teach her a lesson. He sent all the deities one by one. Maina mistook each one of them to be Shiva, but was later informed by Narada that in fact they were all not Shiva, but the attendants of Shiva. Maina was very delighted and wondered how handsome the Master Shiva must be if the attendants were so handsome. Right then, Shiva arrived with his ganas, his body coated with bhasma on it. His ganas too were looking ferocious with bhasma alankara. Maina could not bear this horrible sight of bhasma lepana and lost her consciousness. Maina's wail. The maidservants arrived instantaneously and helped Maina to regain her consciousness. She started crying and cursing everybody. She thought they are all responsible for her daughter's marriage with Shiva. Nobody was spared. Narada, the Saptarshis, and even her own sons. She even admonished Parvati by saying, "Did you do severe penance to get such a horrible husband? like this Shiva. Lord Brahma and Narada tried to console and Maina, convince her, but it was of no avail. When Parvataraja tried to intervene, he was soundly rebuked. Maina Devi threatened him that if this marriage took place, then it would be the last day of her life. At last, Lord Vishnu arrived and he tried to pacify Maina, Mina's anger by saying that her anger was baseless, as she had not seen the real appearance of Shiva yet, which bestows benediction. Lord Vishnu and Narada then eulogized Shiva, who, on being pleased, showed his most enchanting beauty. Maina now became fully satisfied. Parvataraja too felt proud of her daughter's good fortune. At first, Shiva entered the mandapa where the marriage ceremony was going to be organized. He saw Parvati sitting there. Both of them were very delighted to see each other. Himalaya, that is Parvataraja, bestows Parvati to Shiva. After the marriage ceremony was over, the sage Garga helped Parvataraja in performing the rite of Kanyadana amidst the chantings of Vedic mantras. The women were singing auspicious songs. Himalaya presented large quantities of, that is Parvataraja, presented large quantities of dowry to Shiva. Parvati's companions were engaged with Shiva in jocular and humorous conversation. Shiva brings back Kamadeva alive. Rati, the wife of Kamadeva, seeing the moment of opportune, arrived and requested Shiva to bring back her husband back to the life. Her wailings made the other goddesses very sympathetic towards her. They too requested Shiva to make her dead husband to back to life. Feeling pity on her condition, Shiva brought back to Kamadeva back to the life from the ashes which Rati had given to him. On seeing her husband alive, Rati's heart was filled up with extreme joy. Both of them eulogized, both of them submitted prayers to Lord Shiva and expressed their gratitude. After the marriage ceremony was over, the marriage processionist sought the permission of Parvataraja to make a move, but he requested them to remain there for some more days. Parvataraja requested Shiva and all the devas to remain in Himalaya for some more days. Shiva remained at his in-laws' house for many days. One day he sought the permission of Himalaya, that is Parvataraja, to go back to Kailash. Everybody became sad at the prospect of Shiva's departure from the Parvataraja's palace, especially Maina, who was very saddened by this news. At last it was time for Shiva to depart for Kailash, accompanied by Parvati. Lord Shiva and Parvati were blissfully enjoying their marital status, unaware of the eagerness with which the Devas were awaiting the arrival of their son progeny. Tarakasura, the demon, continued tormenting the Devas. When their when their miseries became unbearable, they went to Lord Brahma to seek their help. All of them, they went to Lord Vishnu. They told him that even after passing of such a long duration of time, Parvati and Shiva had not yet become parents. They requested Lord Vishnu to remind Shiva about the purpose of behind this marriage. Initially, Lord Vishnu showed his disinclination to disturb Shiva's marital bliss. But when the Devas insisted, he went to Shiva accompanied by all of them. All of them submitted their prayers to Shiva and Parvati. The Devas then requested Shiva to make his contribution in the destruction of Tarakasura. Shiva understood everything some drops of his semen fell down on the ground. One being insisted by the Devas. Agni transformed his appearance in the form of a pigeon and picked up those drops of semen. Right then Parvati arrived there and became extremely furious on seeing the semen being going waste. She cursed the Devas that their respective wives would remain issueless. That means no children, as the consequence of their mindless acts. Agnideva was having inflammation in his stomach because of the Shiva's semen. Lord Shiva advised him to transfer it into the womb of any noble woman. Agni followed this instruction and injected the semen into the body of a sick woman through the pores of hair on their body. These women could not bear the extreme luster of the Shiva's semen. They went to Himachala and evacuated it. Even Himachala could not bear this. In the mountain, Himalaya mountain evacuated it. Even Himachala Parvata could not bear this extreme effulgence and immersed it into the flowing Ganga. River Ganga carried it with her current and established it amidst burned bushes of reed Sarkanda. Instantaneously, a beautiful child manifested from it. His birth made all the Devas extremely joyous, including Shiva and Parvati. It was the sixth day, bright half of the lunar month. It was the sixth day, bright half of the lunar month of the Hindu month of Margashira. He was Kartikeya. Sage Vishwamitra arrived at the spot when the child had manifested. On the repeated insistence of the child, Vishwamitra performed his purification rites and named him as Guha. The divine child blessed Vishwamitra and bestowed divine knowledge to him. He also blessed him to become famous as Brahmarishi. Agnideva arrived there and gave a divine weapon named Shakti to the child. Guha went to the Kronch mountain and banged his weapon on it. The mountain could not bear the effect of the blow and started crumbling down. Innumerable demons living on that mountain came to kill him, but the child killed all of them by his weapon. When Indra heard about his bravery, he came along with the other devas to fight him. Indra assaulted Guha with his vajra on the right side of his body, which resulted into the manifestation of a very powerful entity named Shaka. Indra again assaulted him on the left side of the body, from which manifested an extremely powerful entity named Vishaka. Indra assaulted Guha for the third time. This time his chest was target. From the third blow of Indra manifested Nigama. Guha, accompanied by all the three powerful entities Shaka, Vishaka, and Nigama, attacked Indra and his army, but they flew away. 6 goddesses arrived on the scene. All of them tried to feed that small child out of affection. They started quarreling amongst themselves. Right then, they were surprised to see that the child appearing with 6 heads. Now their problems were solved. Each of the goddess fed their breast milk to each head of the child. They took Guha with them and brought him up with great love and affection and care. Guha later on became famous as Kartikeya. Search for Kartikeya. One day, Parvati curiously asked Shiva about his semen which had fallen on the ground. Lord Shiva summoned the Devas and asked them about it. The Devas narrated the whole story. Both Shiva and Parvati were very pleased to know about Kartikeya. Lord Shiva then ordered his Ganas to bring Kartikeya from the possession of the Kritika. The Ganas reached Badrikashrama where Kritika lived. When Kritika saw the Ganas, she became very frightened but Kartikeya gave him solace. The Ganas requested Kartikeya to come along with him to the Kailasa to see Shiva and Parvati. Kartikeya happily took permission from his mother's 6 Kritikas and proceeded to meet Shiva and Parvati. Kartikeya's coronation. At the time of Kartikeya's departure, the mothers had become very emotional. Kartikeya consoled them. He then boarded the beautiful chariot which had been sent by Parvati and proceeded towards the Kailas mountain. All the devas, including Shiva, were eagerly awaiting his arrival. When Kartikeya reached Kailasa mountain, he was given a royal reception. The whole atmosphere was filled up with joy. Everybody was celebrating. Each of the deities, each of the devas presented him their respective weapons to boy Guha. Lord Shiva coronated Kartikeya as the king with the help of a Brahmin. This way, he had now become the Lord of Kailasapuri. Lord of Kailasapuri. Kartikeya, amazing character. Kartikeya narrated a story connected with himself. One day, a Brahmin whose name was Narada came to me and requested me to help him find the goat which had got lost. He told me that the goat was supposed to be offered as a sacrifice. If the goat was not found, my woe would remain unfulfilled, said Narada. I went in search of the goat. I found it in the Vishnuloka, where it was creating a nuisance. When the goat saw me, it tried to attack me with its sharp horns. I climbed on his back. After traveling through all the 3 worlds, the goat returned back to his original place. I climbed down from his back. Narada arrived and demanded his goat. I told him that this yajna had been accomplished by my blessings and there was no need to sacrifice the poor goat. Narada, the Brahmin, went back satisfied. Now they are facing the battle, Deva and Danavas. The Devas were very encouraged by the presence of Kartikeya amidst themselves. They were beaming with confidence and enthusiasm. The Devas assembled at the seashore. Tarakasura arrived there with his large army. The battle began between Tarakasura army and Deva army. Tarakasura appeared to be invincible. His blow was too severe that Indra fell down unconscious. All the Lokapalakas met the same fate. After that, Tarakasura fought with Virabhadra and made him unconscious. Even Lord Vishnu could not sustain for long and was ultimately defeated. Lord Brahma requested Kartikeya to fight with Tarakasura, as nobody except him would be able to kill him. Now, Kartikeya Subramanya Swami started fighting with Tarakasura, and on being instructed by Lord Brahma, Kartikeya came forward to fight with Tarakasura. Tarakasura ridiculed the Devas for taking the shield of a small child. If he gets killed by me, the responsibility should lie on you people, thundered Tarakasura. A fierce battle started between both of them, in which both of them got injured. At last, seeing an opportune moment, Kartikeya hit Tarakasura on his chest with his weapon Shakti. The blow proved to be fatal, and as a result, Tarakasura died. Kartikeya was hailed by all the devas. After killing Tarakasura, Kartikeya went to Mother Parvati, who affectionately took him into her lap. He was he was eulogized by all the devas. Now, killings of Pralamba and Banasura. The mountain crunch, who was tormented by the activities of the demon named Banasura, went to Kartikeya to and narrated his woeful tales. Kartikeya threw his weapon, Shakti, on the direction which Banasura lived. The weapon banged right on the target and returned back to Kartikeya. Banasura was burned to ashes. Crouch went back being very pleased. The mountain Crunch established three Shivalingas to please Lord Shiva. The names of three Shivalingas were Kameshwara, Kumareshwara, Pratyageshwara, and Kapileshwara. Kumareshwara, Pratyageshwara, and Kapileshwara, three Shivalingas. Once upon a time, the Devas were trying to reach the abode of Lord Shiva, Kailasa mountain. Their preceptor, Brihaspati, was walking ahead of all of them. Meanwhile, demon by the name of Pralamba started creating turbulence. After being tormented by his activities, Kumuda, son of Sheshanaga, took Kartikeya refuge. Kartikeya killed the demon with his divine weapon Shakti. Ganesha. Once Narada had desired to listen to the tales of Ganesha. Brahmaji replied, there was a various uh, Ganeshas in different kalpas. During the period of Shvetavaraha Kalpa, Ganesha was born to Shiva and Parvati when they went to Kailash mountain shortly after their marriage. Once, while going to take her bath, Parvati instructed Nandi to stand guard at the entrance and not to allow anybody to enter the premise without her permission. Lord Shiva arrived there by chance despite Nandi's refusal to allow him. He, he went inside. Parvati did not like this. One day it happened so that once again Parvati wanted to take her bath. She made an idol from her dirt from her body, the sweat. She made the idol alive and instructed him not to allow anybody without her permission. She also gave him stick for his protection. Incidentally, Lord Shiva arrived once again. He tried to enter inside, but Ganesha refused to let him go inside. But when Shiva tried to go inside forcibly, Ganesha hit him with his stick. Lord Shiva became furious and ordered his Ganas to kill him. Ganesha defeats the Shivaganas and the Devas. The Ganas of Shiva attacked Ganesha, but all of them were no match for Ganesha. After being defeated by Ganesha, Shivaganas went to Shiva and narrated everything. While the Shivaganas were narrating their stories, Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu, and some other devas arrived there. Lord Brahma then went to Ganesha to convince him, but as long as Ganesha saw him, he tried to attack Lord Brahma. Brahmaji came back without achieving anything. After this, Lord Shiva himself came to fight Ganesha. Shiva severs Ganesha's head. A fierce battle was fought between Shiva and Ganesha. Shiva and Ganesha. When Lord Shiva realized that Ganesha was dominated the fight, he severed his head with his Trishula. And Parvati became extremely furious at the death of Ganesha. Her anger resulted into the manifestation of innumerable goddesses who started creating havoc on the Devas. The Devas became frightened and they were forced to take the refuge of Parvati. They eulogized her and requested to be pardoned. Parvati told them that they could be saved only when Ganesha becomes alive and becomes worshipable just like all the other devas. The devas went to Lord Shiva and requested him to make Ganesha alive once again. Lord Shiva instructed them to go in the northern direction and bring the head of any creature they might find and join it with the trunk of Ganesha. The devas followed the instructions of Lord Shiva and went in the northern direction. They found an elephant which had only one tusk. They severed the elephant's head and joined it with the trunk of Ganesha. By the blessings of Shiva, Ganesha became alive once again. The devas worshipped Ganesha and returned back to their respective abode. Both Kartikeya and Ganesha grew up to become handsome youths. In due course of time, Shiva and Parvati started to think about their marriage. When Ganesha and Kartikeya came to know about the plan of their marriage, both of them started quarreling among themselves as to who should get married first. Lord Shiva and Parvati devised a plan to sort out this problem. They told them whoever whoever between them returns after circumambulating the earth will get married first of all. Kartikeya and Ganesha agreed. Kartikeya proceeded on his journey to circumambulate the earth on his chariot with a peacock. Ganesha was very intelligent. He requested his parents, Lord Shiva and Parvati, sit at a place together, and Ganesha circumambulated them for 7 times and said, according to Veda, circumambulating one's own parents give virtues equivalent to that of circumambulating the whole earth. So now you must get the married first. Lord Shiva and Parvati were pleased and impressed by his intelligence. They decided to get him married with Siddhi and Riddhi, the daughter of Vishwarupa Prajapati. In due course of time, 2 sons were born to them, Kshema and Lava. Where Kartikeya was returning after circumambulating the whole earth, he met sage Narada on the way. He told Kartikeya about Ganesha's marriage. Kartikeya became very sad and felt like having been cheated by their parents. When Kartikeya reached Kailash mountain, he made salutation to Lord Shiva and Parvati and without saying anything went to Crouch mountain to do his penance. Parvati was very sad. She went to Crouch mountain to meet Kartikeya accompanied by Shiva. When Kartikeya saw them coming, he moved to another place. Lord Shiva and Parvati followed him, ultimately met him. Both these places have religious significance. Having darshana of Kartikeya on the full moon day of Kritika Nakshatra is considered to bestows immense auspicious and destroys all the sins of a man, human being. Next chapter is Yuddha Kanda, Tripurasura demon, 3 demon fighting later coming. Narada requested Lord Brahma to narrate how Lord Shiva annihilated the demons. The Lord Brahma narrated the tale of Tripurasura. After the killing of Tarakasura, the 3 of his sons started doing their penance. The eldest among them was Tarakasha, younger of them was Vidyunmalai, and Kamalaksha was the youngest. Brahma became very pleased by their tremendous penance. They requested me to create 3 invincible forts for them, which should be full of all kinds of wealth and splendor, and which nobody could be able to break. The golden fort was constructed for Tarakaksha. For Kamalaksha, a fort of silver was constructed, and for Vidyanamalai, iron fort was constructed. I had ordered the demon named Maya to construct these 3 forts. One of these forts was constructed in the sky, the other was constructed in the earth, and the third was constructed in the netherworld. After constructing the forts for them, Maya took the responsibility of protecting them. Brahma warned the 3 demons that they would be killed by Lord Shiva. After this, I came back. The Devas submitted their prayers to Shiva and Vishnu. The 3 demon brothers started tormenting the Devas. The Devas went to Lord Brahma and narrated about their miseries. Lord Brahma instructed them to seek the help of Shiva. They went to Lord Shiva in Kailas and explained about their problems. They also requested Shiva to eliminate those 3 demons. Lord Shiva instructed them to go to Lord Vishnu and said, the Tripurasuras are very virtuous, so they could not be killed. You must go to Lord Vishnu and try to seek his help. The Devas then went to Lord Vishnu and made the same request. Lord Vishnu performed an oblation. Thousands of armed spirits appeared from the Yajna Kunda. Lord Vishnu sent these spirits to kill the three demon brothers. But these spirits were no match for the Tripurasuras' might, and they had to run for their lives. They came to Lord Vishnu and narrated the whole story of Lord Vishnu became very worried. He sent back to all the devas and started thinking about the means Tripurasuras could be killed. Lord Vishnu came to the conclusion that the Tripurasuras could not be killed till they remain virtuous and religious. He then created an illusionary entity from his body who had no hairs on his head. He had worn dirty clothes and a bag was hanging down his shoulder. He also had a broom in his head. The entity asked Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, about the purpose of his existence and his name. Lord Vishnu told him that his name was Hariyan. Hariyan. He also instructed him to create a scripture which stresses upon the importance of the action karmavada, and which is different from the rituals explained in Vedas. Lord Vishnu specifically instructed him to keep the language of that scripture as simple and degenerated as possible. Lord Vishnu then preached Hariyan on the science of illusion, which stressed that the heaven or the hell does not exist anywhere else but on this earth itself. Lord Vishnu instructed Aryan to get Tripurasuras initiated into with his philosophy so that the demon brothers became irreligious. Vishnu ordered Aryan to make this his residence in a desert with his disciples. You should propagate your philosophy where Kali Yuga arrives, said Lord Vishnu. After giving his instruction, Lord Vishnu disappeared. Hariyan then created four illusionary entities from his being who are supposed to act as his followers. Their names were Rishi, Yati, Kirya, and Upadhyaya. Now the time had arrived to enter the forts of Tripurasura. All of them entered the forts and in a gradual manner started increasing their influence. As a result, the Tripurasuras became irreligious, not only that their subjects too became irreligious in a very short time. The Devas submitted prayers to Lord Shiva. When the Devas saw that the Tripurasuras had become irreligious completely, they went to Lord Shiva and requested him to kill Tripurasuras. Right then, Mother Parvati arrived there, accompanied by Kartikeya and Ganesha. She requested Shiva to come along with her into the palace. All the Devas followed them and kept on requesting. The Devas were angry that Parvati had caused obstacles in the fulfillment of their objective. They could not conceal their anger and expressed it. One of the Ganas of Shiva, whose name was Kumbhodara, angrily attacked the Devas. All of them got injured and went to Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu advised them to chant the 5 letters mantra Om Namah Shivaya for 1 crore times. The Devas followed the instruction. Lord Shiva became pleased and appeared before them. He assured the Devas that their wishes will be fulfilled. Now the killings of Tripurasuras. When Shiva agreed to kill the demon brothers Tripurasuras, the Devas became extremely joyous. They gave their respective weapons to Shiva so that he did not have any difficulty in killing the demons. Vishwakarma gave his beautiful chariot to him. Lord Shiva proceeded towards the forts of Tripurasura, followed by a huge army of the deities. His army entered the forts of his bow, but he was not able to release it. He remained in the position for 1,000 years, but still he was not successful in releasing his arrow. Lord Shiva then worshipped Ganesha and heard heavenly voice instructing him to use his weapon, Pashupata. Pashupata. Lord Shiva released it in the direction of the forts of Tripurasura. All the three forts were destroyed by the assault of Pashupatastra, and it created havoc among the demons. Seeing the death of and destruction of all around them, Tripurasuras prayed to Lord Shiva to have mercy on them. Lord Shiva assured them that after their death they would be born as his Ganas. At last, Tripurasuras were burned to death. Maya was the only demon who survived. After their death, Tripurasuras were privileged to reborn as the Ganas of Shiva. That part of Shiva Purana we completed now. The section 119, the Devas receive boon from Shiva, will be the next chapter. We will continue. नमोस्तु अनंताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षिशिरोर्बाहुवे सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाश्रुते सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः आकाशात् पतितं यथागरसागरं सर्वदेव नमस्कारः श्रीकेशवं प्रजत्यो नमः सर्ववेदेषु यत्पुण्यं सर्वतीर्थेषु यत्फलं तत्फलं कृष्णोऽप्यवासनाद् वासुदेवस्य वासन्ते जगत्त्रयं सर्वभूतनिवासोऽसि वासुदेव नमस्ते कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि नारायणाय समर्पयामि ॐ नमः शिवाय।